Let's go. Welcome to a new video on the channel, guys. I'm Oliver Tats. This is Nicola Tattoo. Sorry, I introduced yourself there. But in this video, we're gonna be going over the harsh truth about becoming a tattoo artist in 2025. And yeah, I need to tell some of you guys that are thinking about coming into this industry the harsh truth about becoming a tattoo artist in 2025. And listen, I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm not here to tell you the cute little Instagram version of how people follow their dreams and magically become booked for months. I'm here to give you the real version, the version that nobody tells you, because I don't talk shit. I talk facts, mate. And the version most studios don't want to say out loud. The version all veterans know, like myself, but never warn the beginners about, which I always do with the apprentice Ben that's working in the studio. And I can tell you this because I've lived it. I've built a studio, I've tattooed names, I've tattooed celebrities, I've mentored artists for the last 10 years. I've made all the mistakes and I've seen how this industry actually works behind the scenes. So if you're thinking about becoming a tattoo artist or you're just getting started, you need to hear every word of this. So I'm going to section this out, guys, into sort of sections to talk about. And the first one is the industry doesn't give a fuck about you, to be honest. The harsh truth, number one, is the industry does not care about you. Not your shop, not your boss, not the people around you, not the people who say, yo, bro, you'd be sick at tattooing. Tattooing is not a hand-holding industry. No one is coming to guide you. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to carry your career. If you do want guidance, though, check out www.theholygrailtattooingeducation.com, and I'll give you some no bullshit advice and some really good fucking seminars on shading, lining, whatever you need, right? But yeah, you have to build yourself. So I can give you all the information in the world. It's just how you want to interpret that information and then push forward with that. You have to show value. You have to make yourself undeniable. So stop expecting opportunities to appear. Stop expecting a studio to do the work for you, and stop expecting some magical mentor to take you under their wing. Unless you're extremely lucky to get in with a very high-end artist that will give you an apprenticeship. But yeah, the industry doesn't owe you anything, and you know, but it will reward you massively if you take responsibility. So, section 2, talent means nothing if you're a softie in this world. And let's face it, the world's gone soft, mate. The world's gone soft, isn't it, Nicola? Mm. Yeah. So let's get into that. Let's get into why talent is overrated and discipline is everything. Most beginners think tattooing is an art talent job. It's not. Well, it is in some respects, but it's more discipline. You have to be disciplined. It's a discipline job disguised as an art job. I've seen insanely tattoo artists quit within a year. I keep seeing this all over social media. I saw one today. Some girl saying that she's quitting and transitioning into a new career because she just can't handle the slow periods, you know, the boredom, the repetition, the criticism, the pressure, the self-doubt, which we all have. But it's just, if you've got a hard mentality like myself, I've had there was 2 years in my career. I think it was 2023, 2024. It was last year. Was extremely bad for me, and I was even thinking about quitting. And then I thought, well, hang on a minute, why would I quit on something that's given me an insanely great life? You know. I will one day. I will say that tattooing isn't it's not a forever job. You're gonna have to transition out of it at some point, but you need to reap the benefits and, you know, enjoy the journey and become at a level where you are respected and you know, people will look up to your work. But yeah, I've seen average artists climb to the top because they were consistent. You know, they showed up, they practiced daily, they didn't let their ego get in the way, and remember, tattooing is a muscle memory. Tattooing is patience. Tattooing is problem solving under pressure. It's repetition until it becomes second nature. Talent helps, but discipline builds careers, and that's something you need to hear. You need thick skin, and let me be very clear: this industry will test your confidence more than anything you've ever done. You're going to have days where a tattoo doesn't heal perfectly, a client complains, you overthink your shading, your lines wobble, you compare yourself to other artists, something that I do a lot. You doubt your future and you feel behind, and most artists quit because they can't handle that feeling. Tattooing isn't just a skill, it's mental toughness, and it's dealing with imperfections while chasing the perfection of tattooing. If you can't take criticism, the bad, the unhealthy comments, the pressure, you can't take a bad day. This industry will chew you up and spit you out, mate. But if you push through that self doubt, you become unstoppable. You become hardened. Getting onto apprenticeships. Apprenticeships are not what you think, especially in the modern day. Even in the olden days, the industry's evolved so much now, and a lot of people fantasize about apprenticeships. In 2025, apprenticeships are nothing like the romantic idea people have. And here's the truth: most studios don't want apprentices. Many artists are too busy to teach you. Some artists are too insecure to teach you. Some shops use apprentices as cleaners and coffee runners and never teach them fuck all. That's what I had in my failed apprenticeship back in 2014. Some places, from what I've heard from other artists in my studio, take 5 apprentices and keep none. They'll just let them do they're basically like modern day slaves, mate. You know what I mean? And the best studios, they don't take beginners. They take people who already drawing at a high level. They show discipline, they show personality, they show improvement, they're good in front of the camera, they show passion, they show value. Apprenticeships aren't handed out based on potential, they're handed out based on proof. So if you're tattooing a bunch of fake skin and you've shown progress because you're disciplined and you show drive and ambition, you're more likely to get an apprenticeship. Given fake skin, knowing that you can actually tattoo to a decent level on fake skin, then all it is for a good studio, is to just push you in the right direction, give you a bit of guidance, and then transition you from fake skin to human skin. So yeah, if you want a real apprenticeship in 2025, you need to walk in looking like a future asset and not a project, basically. One of the things that me and you have been through is working for free before you get paid. And this is the part that nobody likes to hear. You will work for free before you make a single pound or dollar. You'll draw for free, you'll practice for free, you'll tattoo fake skin for free, you'll tattoo mates for prices that barely cover your needles and inks. You'll spend hours watching and learning with no pay. You'll create content that gets no views at the start. This isn't exploitation. This is the cost of the entry into the industry, and every artist invests more than they earn at the beginning. I did. The money comes later once you get to that decent standard of artist. But early on, it's all about building skill, confidence, and reputation, and repetition as well. Being active on social media. If I was to come into this industry today, I would be vlogging my journey in a vlog style format on social media every single day. I would post every single day. I'd post a reel, and I'd post a reel every other day, so maybe 4 days a week, and then the rest I'd post my design work. I'd post like a carousel of my best work or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I'd be on it every day, because you'll find that people like to know the journey that you're on. People like to see the progress that people make. and if you don't post online, you don't exist. And this is going to piss a lot of people off. If you're not posting online consistently, you do not exist in the industry, and that's why I think a lot of artists are quitting today, because they just can't keep up with the saturation of the industry, and they can't keep up with, you know, the pressure that it builds, especially if you've got a studio. It's even more pressure, because you've got bills to pay, you've got studio rent to pay, you've got, you know, you've got to take even more on as a, not just an artist, but an entrepreneur, I suppose, a business person. And clients don't find artists the old way anymore. They don't just walk in randomly. A lot of it's through online. You know, they don't come into the shop and flick through some binders and pick a tattoo from the wall anymore. They will, you know, they'll scroll, they'll search Instagram, they'll judge your page in 2 seconds, so it has to be on point, it has to be aesthetically pleasing. So many different things. You know, you have to post every single bit of social media going, like Instagram, TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, your website. You have to have a website, you know, with a portfolio on. I know I'm boring you, Nicola, but this is very good fucking information. And social media. Oh, she's getting ill, bless her, isn't ya? You're getting sicky, ain't ya? Social media is your storefront now, so you best get back in cooking, boy. Know what I mean? You best be posting on that shit. I still do. I'm booked out for 3 months. I have to post. I still post. You still post. You haven't worked for about 2 weeks. She still posts. Do you know what I mean? Times of years as well is you know, oh, it's the time of year. People just haven't got money. They're saving up for Christmas. They're saving up for a holiday in summer. Time of year don't give a time. It's bullshit. It's just because you're marketing yourself shit. That's what it is. You know, your social media presence determines your demand, your prices, your clients, your opportunities, your reputation. And I'll say it straight: if you're too shy to post, or you're too lazy to post, you're too lazy to win. You're too shy to win. Which brings us on to branding. Branding is now a massive requirement. And here's the truth that separates the winners from the average, right? In 2025, skill alone is not enough. You need a brand. Like I was saying, people don't book tattoos anymore. They book identity, energy, vibe, emotion, experience. You know, look at Paulie D, for an example. He's not the greatest tattooist in the world, but he's so fucking good at social media. And a lot of people can take what he's done and emulate what he does and post the exact same content that he does, and I guarantee you will get clients. You will get clients. And that's what I've done with the Holy Grail Studios. You know, people aren't just buying a tattoo, they're buying the feeling. If you've got a cool looking studio, aesthetically pleasing, you know, they're paying for the experience. They're paying for the exclusivity on getting tattooed in the Holy Grail Studios or Lost Time Studios or whatever. They're buying the feeling, they're buying the environment, the aesthetic, the experience. If you're not building a brand, you are automatically just blending in, and people are just going to scroll right past you. Section 8 is a bit of a taboo subject, because although I think the industry is saturated, I think it's saturated, but the standards are so low, especially in the UK. You know, people love saying the tattoo industry is too saturated, which is why I'm not getting any work. It's not. It's shit.
You're just shit.
Well, they might be good. They might be good tattooists.
But you're shit at content.
Yeah. Like you're not. Media. You can't just tattoo, post a cool picture online, and expect people to book. It's never going to work anymore.
You need to be a content creator.
You have to
alongside tattooing.
Yeah, you have to be a manager. You have to be a PR agent. You have to be on this shit 24/7. And if you don't want to be on this shit, you will quit tattooing because you're lazy, and that's the God's honest truth. You know, it's saturated with lazy artists, inconsistent ones, artists who don't learn, they don't want to learn, they don't evolve. You know, you don't post. It's saturated with artists who don't reinvest, who don't care about detail, who want success without the work, which is what I was saying. You know, the competition isn't overwhelming, it's just the standards are low, especially in the UK. Especially in the UK. If you're genuinely obsessed, if you study, you practice, you build, you know, systems that work, you build a style, you will rise fast in 2026, 100%. And you have to document everything. And the industry changes so fast that you have to evolve yearly, right? So this industry moves so quick. Equipment evolves, tech evolves, styles evolve, clients expectations evolve. Back in 2022 or 2023, whenever it was around that time, AI started to come into play, and I made one of the first videos on AI, and it got stupid amount of views, and they were like, what the hell, I didn't know this was a thing, blah blah. I said, yeah, I've got my ear to the ground on everything in this industry, and that's why I've stayed afloat, because you have to live, breathe and shit fucking tattooing, mate, to get anywhere. You know, you have to reinvent yourself every year. You know, you have to reinvest in new equipment, upgrading your inks, trying new things, refining your techniques, improving content, refining your brand, leveling up your studio, whether that be a better bed for everybody or whatever. You know, learning business, mastering new approaches, content trends, all that shit. And the artists who win, they evolve every single year. They never stand still, like myself, and I pride myself on that. Most artists, another thing that I'm going to say as well is most artists quit in the first 2 years of tattooing. And let me give you a number nobody talks about. Most new artists quit within the first 24 months. Why? Because the first 2 years are the most insecure, the least profitable, the most mentally draining, the most repetitive, the slowest in terms of growth. If you survive these 2 years, if you stay consistent, if you push through the doubt, your momentum becomes unstoppable, and you know, most people stop before it's good, and you will be fine. You're gonna get hard years, like the last 2 years before this year. This year's been incredibly good for me. I've been blessed this year with a great year, but 2024 and 2023 was extremely slow. It was extremely slow, and it was because I was lazy. It was because I was biting off too much than I can chew, with side projects. I was going out a lot. I was drinking a lot. I was partying a lot. I surrounded myself with friends that didn't have the same drive and ambition as me, and that rubs off on you. You know, it's that famous saying, I'll show you your future if you show me your friends. And that's 100%, 100% right. 100% right. You know, tattooing is hard work. It's very, very, very hard work, but it's worth it. And tattooing in 2026 is not for the lazy, because it's about to change again. It's not for the softies. It's not for the people who want shortcuts. And there's a lot of artists out there that try and shortcut everything, and they will ultimately lose. They will just be drowning and keeping their head above water at all times. But if you're obsessed, you're driven, you're consistent, you know, you love the grind, you love improving, you're willing to evolve, this industry will give you more than any normal job ever could. Tattooing changed my life. It gave me purpose, it gave me freedom, it gave me a lot of money, it gave me an identity, and it gave me a brand, and it built Holy Grail Studios, but only because I gave everything first. And yeah, that's what this video is about today. So if you want more real talk like this, more behind the scenes, truth, more harsh realities people are scared to say, follow the page, drop a comment, and I'll keep pulling back the curtain on the industry everyone thinks they understand, but barely anyone actually does. See you in the next video, guys.
See you later.